Nigerians will join Muslim faithful the world over to celebrate Eid-el-Fitr today, marking the end of Ramadan fast.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar III, announced the sighting of the new moon on Monday. Abubakar III said the new moon was sighted in Kaduna, Kebbi, Yobe, Borno, Jigawa and Sokoto states. The Sultan urged all Muslims to sustain fervent prayers for the nation's leaders for sustainable peace and unity in the country and beyond. In the meantime, President Buhari has felicitated with Muslim faithful as they celebrate Eid-el-Fitr. The president, in his Eid-el-Fitr message, vowed to pursue bandits, terrorists and kidnappers and bring them to justice. In a message signed by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Malang Garba Shehu, President Buhari also commiserated with victims of terrorism, kidnapping and banditry in the country. He urged Muslims to continue living in peace with their neighbors, as was the nature of the Holy Prophet. Joining me now is an Islamic cleric, Abdul Fattah Abdul Majid. Good morning. Happy Eid-el-Fitr.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right. Now, today is the celebration, but first of all, the fast is over. How is the day celebrated?
The day is celebrated as you want to celebrate it, actually.
Oh, really?
Before you go to Eid in the morning, it is said that you have to eat and the rest. Then when you eat to break your fast, then you go to Eid, then you celebrate it.
Oh, you fasted into this morning?
No, you are not going to fast until this morning. That's why you are meant to break your fast before you go to Eid.
Oh, okay.
You understand? We broke our fast yesterday, but we are not meant to. We are not allowed to fast to eat tomorrow.
Oh,
this
okay.
morning, sorry.
Okay.
Exactly. So after that, you have to celebrate it in the lawful ways that Allah.
Lawful ways.
Yes.
Now, that's the aspect I'm interested in. What are the lawful ways?
By not doing all you left during Ramadan, like all the unlawful things like drinking, like prostitution, like all these unlawful Islamic things that we are not meant to do. Okay,
so the fast is expected to have, curtailed all of those before the celebration. So those that find themselves falling back into that, what should happen?
Then the thing is, then they've not really fasted. Then they didn't make their fast, because it's going to be like the fasting has been nullified for them.
Really?
Yes.
For about 30 days?
Because Ramadan is meant to cleansing our minds and our hearts. You understand? So for you not to achieve that during Ramadan, then that's.
So there is no room for mercy, or now that I'm going further.
Actually, there's room for mercy.
Yeah.
But then something that is meant to train you and groom you. The sole purpose of Ramadan is to groom you and train you to be a better Muslim.
Okay.
Then after Ramadan, if you are not that better Muslim, it's just as if you've failed the examination. So there is no mercy after examination. All
right. Now, there is this notion about if you fast, if you perform the zakat, if you go to Hajj, that and you pray 5 times a day, you secure a key to paradise. How true is that?
That's true. That's true. Because if you do it with clean heart and the way Allah has asked us to do it, then surely you are going to paradise.
Abdul Fattah, all right, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast, and once again, happy Eid.
It's a lovely Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Happy Eid-el-Fitr.
Happy Eid-el-Fitr.
We are streaming live on YouTube, and you can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.
All right, let's begin with the news now. Muslim faithful the world over are celebrating Eid-el-Fitr today, marking the end of Ramadan fast.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar III, announced the sighting of the new moon on Monday. Abubakar III said the new moon was sighted in Kaduna, Kebbi, Yobe, Borno, Jigawa and Sokoto states.
The Sultan urged all Muslims to sustain fervent prayers for the nation's leaders for sustainable peace and unity in the country and beyond. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has felicitated with Muslim faithful as they celebrate Eid-el-Fitr. The president, in his Eid-el-Fitr message, vowed to pursue bandits, terrorists and kidnappers and bring them to justice. He also commiserated with victims of terrorism, kidnapping and banditry in the country. He urged Muslims to continue living in peace with their neighbors, as was the nature of the Holy Prophet. Joining me now is an Islamic cleric, Abdul Fattah Abdul Majid. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yes,
really
sir.
nice to see you.
Yes.
Happy Eid-el-Fitr.
Thank you.
Well, today I woke up with the mind of feasting, just feasting, because Muslim faithful, my brothers and friends are celebrating today. Now, talk to us about what is very unique and significant about this Eid-el-Fitr we're celebrating this time around.
Thank you very much. I wish all Nigerians a happy Eid celebration.
Yes.
The essence of Eid is to say, keep your duty to God, keep your duties to human, irrespective of the faith. For instance, if you could do without food, you could do without drink, you could do without intercourse. Not that anybody is monitoring you, but because you fear God, then why wouldn't you keep the law? Why will you violate the principles between person to person? So that is the essence. That you did this for almost 8.5% of a year. That is a whole month. So if you could do that, all evils, all sins, you could do away with.
But how challenging is it? Because at the holy month of Ramadan, everyone tries to generally keep those things away, those things that are considered to be sinful. But after the day, like on the first day after Ramadan, it's back to its business as usual. How challenging is it to really keep up with the tenets of the Ramadan?
Listen, thank you for, it shows that people pass through Ramadan, but they've not allowed Ramadan to pass through them. See, therefore, the Prophet said, God doesn't need your hunger. Rather, it is all those principles that if you can fulfill it, just to tell you that, look, you don't have any problem. It's yourself. You are the problem of yourself. You went without all these things for a whole month. So therefore, it's because they did not understand the principle. And that is why we are now saying, look, Ramadan is not just to fast. And the Prophet told somebody that God doesn't need your hunger. And that is in another excerpt while talking about the fasting, God said, yuridullahu bikumul yusra. Wala yuridu bikumul usra. That Allah wants comfort and ease for you. If you keep all these laws, you are able to fulfill the principles. All of us will be in peace, amity. But it is because you are not doing it. And that is why I've created a period for you to now see that, after all, no police, nobody policing, no water to take care of you. And yet you fulfill the laws.
How best is it to celebrate or commemorate this Eid-el-Fitr?
Oh, you're asking me a question again that I'll go back to the Prophet. In the first instance, the celebration has started from yesterday.
Okay.
Or even day before. One, thanking God for preserving our lives. Two, ensuring that you share with the people. We call it Zakatul Fitri. And that is why the Prophet, the emphasis is on, in fact, making food available to the less privileged. That is what we call Zakatul Fitri. And then when you now get to the Eid is a place of celebration. In fact, during the time of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was an occasion that the Abyssinians, the Ethiopians now, they were performing with their sword. And the Prophet called the wife, oh, Aisha, come. And the Prophet shielded Aisha, said, be watching them, be watching them. So it's meant to be when there will be felicitation all around. The celebrity, the enjoyment should be all over. That is the essence.
So we should be celebrating now. We should be
feasting
feasting
we're
now.
ready. I mean, we've gone through the fasting. In fact, I've already taken something here.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Imam Abdul Fattah Abdul Majid. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And we wish you a great celebration of the Eid as we get along.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Salam alaikum on a Tuesday. Sounds cool, isn't it?
Very
really
cool.
Nice. Salam alaikum. And happy Eid-el-Fitr.
Eid-el-Fitr.
Exactly. Welcome to TVC Breakfast. on a Tuesday morning.
Yes, we are streaming live on YouTube, and you can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.
Now, Muslim faithful the world over celebrating Eid-el-Fitr today, marking the end of the Ramadan fast.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar III, announced the sighting of the new moon on Monday. He said the new moon was sighted in Kaduna, Kebbi, Yobe, Borno, Jigawa, and Sokoto states.
The Sultan urged all Muslims to sustain fervent prayers for the nation's leaders for sustainable peace and unity in the country and beyond. In the meantime, President Muhammad Buhari has felicitated with Muslim faithful as they celebrate Eid-el-Fitr.
The president, in his Eid-el-Fitr message, vowed to pursue bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers and bring them to justice. He also commiserated with victims of terrorism, kidnapping, and banditry in the country. He urged Muslims to continue living in peace with their neighbors, as was the nature of the Holy Prophet. Well, joining me now is an Islamic cleric, Abdul Fattah Abdul Majid. Happy Eid-el-Fitr.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the fast is over, and the question on the lips of some persons is, are there customs to celebrating Eid?
Are there customs? Of course, yes, because the Prophet came, and we can therefore say, how did he? First, you put on gorgeous dresses, and you can see I'm already prepared.
Of course.
Thank you very much. And in addition to that, there are things, the praises you say while going to the Eid. When you get to the Eid, as soon as the Imam comes to the Eid, you start the prayer. After the prayer, eating, drinking, including even singing. During the period of the Prophet, he was sleeping in Aisha's house, one of the wives, and then the girls were singing. Abu Bakr, the person who took over after him, the first caliph, said, "What, singing in the house of the Prophet?" The Prophet said, wait. To all nations, they have period of their festivals. This is our own festival. Therefore, leave them to sing. And therefore, it continued. And then the case of, and that is why people here should try to understand that it's not just a prayer. It is felicitating, enjoying the food, the drink, and bring all game, because it was the case during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that everybody will know that really we are celebrating, having achieved. We have gone through a whole month of fasting. Nobody forced us, but we are submitting totally to the Creator of the entire universe.
Now, this whole month of fast, yes, what was it meant to achieve?
First, patience. Through total submission to God. And having done that, fulfill all the duties to your Creator. Nobody forces you. If you are able to do that, you will also be able to fulfill it to human, and the world will be a better place to live in. Because essentially, I mean, so you are taught, feel the pang of hunger. You then have the human feeling for those who do not have. At the same time, when somebody, even during the course of fasting, when somebody wants to accost you, say, wait a minute, I'm fasting. If we can tolerate one another, if we can say, okay, whatever I do now, I'm going to stand before God to account. I give you your right. You also give me mine. And then the world will be a better place to live in. That is the message. That is why the conclusion in chapter 2, verse 1 and 3 is la'allakum takun, so that you learn God consciousness, so that you learn self-restraint, so that you keep away from evil. So it's not the hunger, it's not the food that you've left, because, and that's why in another excerpt, Allah says, He has not sent anybody to pick the meat, the ram. He has not sent anybody to pick the blood. Rather, what reaches him is a God consciousness and piety with which the whole activity was actually carried out.
Interesting, really interesting. But thank you so much for speaking to us about the importance of the celebration today.
Thank you.
Once again, happy Eid-el-Fitr.